By the way, it's National Share Poetry at Work Day, and we are celebrating with one of our very own. One of our sales managers right here is ABC4 Mike Agrilius, who's joining us now. We didn't know that you were a poet.
Oh, well, I've written a couple of children's books.
And you've written a couple of children's books, which my children have, and they're so fun. We'll talk a little bit.
And they're just poems, too.
And they're poems, too.
I wrote those when I was in high school.
Elephant Glue and Hear What's Here, play on words.
Yep.
Okay, and you actually have some poetry books. This one is called Beyond the Laughter. How long have you been writing poetry?
Since I was about 14.
14.
Yeah.
And how has it helped you?
You know, it's just a great release. You know, a lot of people say that the opposite of depression is expression. So if you express yourself, it helps you overcome depression. And when you're like 14 or 15 years old, there's a lot of depression going on, so that's how I express myself, was through poetry.
And you've written a lot of books here.
I have, yeah.
And you have given me an assignment to read this one. And this one reminds you of whom?
My mom. My mom, it was her birthday, her 95th birthday, just this last, well, it would have been her 95th birthday.
On Elvis's birthday, right?
On January 8th, yeah.
Oh, okay, can I read it?
Please.
It's called Today, and it's in the book Beyond the Laughter. Today is sparkling, today is fresh, today is wonderful and it's new. Today is alive, today is priceless, today is a special gift for you. Today has yesterday's wisdom, tomorrow's dreams, and the time to do things right now. Today is a desire, it's tomorrow's beginnings, and it's yesterday's somehow. Today is a river that rolls through a meadow where children and poets play. Today is an ocean that waits for the castles and promises to let them stay. Today is whatever you want it to be. Today is alive and it's here and it's free. What will you do with today?
Thanks for reading that. I appreciate it.
Beautiful. And it reminds you of your mom.
I wrote it for her while I was on my mission in Australia.
Oh, that's so touching.
Yeah.
And was she able to hear it?
Oh, of course. Well, she didn't hear it, but I sent it to her in a letter. Those were the days when you sent letters and you didn't hear back for 6 weeks.
Those days you're talking about. Yeah. You have another one that has quite the background story.
I have another one here. Yeah, I was on the dating game a million years ago, okay?
You're trying to find a date?
Well, it was called The Dating Game.
Okay.
The show, the TV show, The Dating Game.
Okay.
And I never saw the girl again after I went on the date, but
her loss.
I did see the chaperone, because the chaperone's husband used to tour with the Three Stooges, and I was a huge Three Stooges fan. And so, yeah, I wrote this poem for the Three Stooges. I did get to meet Mo
This one's a long one, so we might not be able to.
Yeah, no, I'll just do a little bit of it. It's just called Dr. Howard, Dr. Fine, and Dr. Howard. And it says, it was a generation bent on destruction from within and without. Your medicine brought them through a depression and helped them face a war. And then I'll cut to the end. But people are hungry and they're talking of war again. They need to be hit with a lead pipe, jabbed with a pitchfork, and run out of town by a bunch of rich snobs. They need their head in a vice. They need to slowly turn, and step by step, inch by inch, they need to be calling Dr. Howard, Dr. Fine, and Dr. Howard, which was my favorite episode that they ever did.
Cute. If you know anything about the Three Stooges, they basically did harm to each other all
Yes,
the
they
time.
did, yeah.
And you actually sent that to?
I sent that to Mo's daughter.
And they loved it.
She loved it, and she said she was going to put it in the next book that she did.
Okay, we can find your poetry in these children's books. You can find it on Amazon, Elephant Glue, Hear What's Here, and where else?
On 7xusa.com, just type in my last name, Agrilius, or AG, or Elephant. If you type in Elephant, it'll come up.
Well, Mike, thank you so much for sharing your poetry.
Thank you.
We'll put that on our web, on the Daily Dish. And there is more Daily Dish after the short break. Don't go anywhere.